Okay, good day everybody. Welcome to Jolo and Friends. I've got my lovely friend here with me today. This is Jules.
Hi.
Hi Jules. Jules and I are going to have a little talk about what's going on. And there's a lot going on, isn't there, at the moment? There's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of worry about, what's going to happen and what's going on politically. And I think Julie has a few concerns. Is that right, Julie?
The government does talk about increasing tax, taken from the pensions, taken from benefits, but they never ever talk about cutting their expenditure. I believe the governments should be transparent because we're paying our money and we should see where it's going, and that's not happening. And now we are apparently 81 billion missing money from the government.
So do you think that we should demand a public audit?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. People can't keep paying like this.
So national debt is currently almost 3 trillion. So who do we owe the money to? The ones who have had control over the paper trail, they don't seem to be accountable, do they? They just don't let us see. So we demand
transparency
and a public audit.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we actually have a situation where we have Andy Burnham stepping in, being installed by the WEF. We know this. And into a government that actually what we call is colour of law. I don't know whether you know what colour of law means. You don't know what. Colour of law means like fake government. It's not really a government. It's pretending to be a government. And there are specific reasons why that is. Because back in 1973, when we went into the EEC, Edward Heath took us in, the Queen signed off. At that point, she signed off her role, which meant there was no more monarchy. So no monarch means no courts, no government, no police, under oath. We lost our public protection. And then after that, 1973, there was a kind of slow tiptoe to corporatism. And by 2000, the year 2000, we entered the EU fully. And again, pretending that she was still the Queen, by the way, and nobody batted an eyelid. It was keep calm and carry on. Don't say a word. And Tony Blair took us into the EU and she signed off again. It was high treason. So we don't actually have a government, Jules.
Wow. And I know when Tony Blair did come to power, first thing he did was change the Treason Act.
Exactly.
Downgraded it from death penalty to something else you probably know.
Yeah, it was just imprisonment, which is still pretty hefty. Because when you're a public servant, you have sworn an oath to work for the people.
Serve the people.
Exactly. So what they've ended up doing is they've changed the system around so that we serve them. Yeah. Money. That's right.
And it's never enough. So we'd like to know where actually all this money's going, because we can't see it in the services around. There's no toilets. There's,
I mean, the NHS, or the National Harm Service, is what is virtually non-existent, isn't it? I mean, it's deteriorated. It's become privatised, corporatised. In 2000, I think it was called the Clearfield Doctrine, and it just corporatised all our public services. But did they tell us? They didn't tell us. When did they tell us? They turned into companies. They all became company status. So they're actually subject to company law, which means contract law. Do you have a contract with your council? Do you have a contract, a signed contract, agreed contract between you and the energy companies, the water companies? They're all subject to contract law if they're not invalid anyway due to treason, which we know they are. The whole system is colour of law. It's fake, phony and false. And it's the emperor has no clothes. No, the emperor absolutely has no clothes. So where do we go from here? Any ideas, anyone? Well, Donald Trump, love him. I love him. I think he's great. Some of you will be groaning. Some of you will be cheering. He's actually doing a great job. He is a fantastic character in this movie, literally a character. I believe he's part of a military operation. And when he was inaugurated in 2016, the people generally didn't get to see it, particularly in England. We didn't get to see his inauguration speech, where he clearly said, the power is being returned to you, the people. Now that meant that we're finally going to be free. And this is what's happened. Behind the scenes, a lot of stuff has been going on, but also the people like me and many, many thousands of others have been learning about who we really are, our sovereignty, our constitution, the laws, all that kind of stuff. And when you understand that you are a living woman, which of course we are, I mean, you wouldn't really think you had to explain that, you know, flesh and blood. But actually that is a thing. And I learned about the birth certificate fraud. Have you heard about that?
Yes, a little bit, but do you want to elaborate a little bit more for the people who maybe...
Yes, your birth certificate is not a proof of identification. Some of you will know this, some of you won't. My birth certificate says very clearly on the bottom of it, this is not proof of the identification of the bearer.
Mine says that.
Yeah,
you need your birth certificate for everything.
Exactly. So what is it? What is it? It's actually a securitized bond. It's a bond, it's an asset, it's a financial instrument. Okay, so another act of deception on behalf of the establishment. So when your mum and dad were told that you had to register your child, so that you could go to school and do all this, be a normal person and take part in society, it was never going to be a certificate of identification. It was a securitized bond that they knew how to drain, and they knew how to extract money from it and assets. You're an asset just by being here. And the traders on the stock market have made a lot of money out of us. And there's a great little video called Meet Your Straw Man on YouTube that everyone should watch. Have you seen that little cartoon?
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very fun to watch. It's only 5 minutes long. So yeah, anything else you'd like to talk about today, Jules? We were going to talk a little bit about the pharmaceutical industry, maybe. What do you think about them?
They're not going to make anyone well, are they? Because well people don't make them any money.
Precisely. So what's your experience with Big Pharma? I mean, over the past 6 years since we had the pandemic.
Well, when the NHS first come about after the war, it seemed to be a wonderful thing for everyone. But really, if the NHS wasn't about making money, then we would have more healthy and well people. And everything is money driven until that stops. There's people taking 14, 18 tablets a day, but they've still got the conditions. I guess they're not here to cure us, and that's what you've got to understand. They treat the pain, but they don't look, and they're not trained to understand your body and make you well.
And in fact, you can end up with more illnesses by taking the medication. So you've got to look at your diet, you've got to look at all of these things, everything you eat, you are what you eat, those basic things. And I think a lot of people are realising that, but they still run to the doctor, and it's like programmed into us to think that the doctor's really going to be able to help you.
They just prescribe medicines, and I was many years back before I woke up to this, I was on a number of medicines for acid reflux, and there is actually something called the NICE guidelines, and when I started to read them, you're only supposed to be on these medicines for a few months, and I was on them for like 6 and 7 years.
They don't care. And as far as I'm concerned, There are cures out there for so many things. The natural medicine was pushed away. The Rockefellers, you need to research it if you don't know what I'm talking about. Many of us have kind of read up on it. We know who's responsible, and they made a lot of money out of us. And the pharmaceutical industry and the oil industry are virtually one and the same. They're very closely linked. The oil industry, of course, is a hugely profitable business, and any kind of patents for free energy or using water to power your car was completely shelved. In fact, the inventors themselves were often bumped off. And, Stanley Meyer, heard of him? Stanley Meyer, yeah. He invented powering the car by water. He had this great invention, and he was poisoned. He died, and he declared it at the time. And this is kind of one example. He's probably one of the most famous, Stanley Meyer, Meyer. So have a look him up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't believe what I'm saying.
Cars were made of hemp in the day, I believe. Yeah. Hemp was such a great material. The red diesel, not allowed to run your car on that. Isn't it strange as well where they've gone, oh, everyone get a diesel car. And now suddenly, oh, it's so much cheaper, and now diesel is more expensive than petrol.
Yeah, it's all about the money, but not just money, it's about power. And we're getting really fed up of it now. As I said, the power is coming back to the people. It just takes a little bit of research to check the fact that the Queen committed treason. And we could pull the rug underneath these people very quickly. It's just a case of people getting together, having a chat, discussing these things, and pointing to the legislation. The legislation actually protects us from such tyranny. It's just the ones that have betrayed us, they are relying on the fact that you won't look and that you won't read it.
Well, they're keeping us too busy. They're keeping everyone too busy, so no one's got time to look at anything, Joe, have they?
That's exactly
why everyone's stressed out with everything.
Yes. So, and the TV has definitely contributed to that.
The television.
The television, indeed. So, switch your TV off. Highly recommended. I mean, when they come round for their TV license, and they're really getting very bullish at the moment, the BBC have got a lot to answer for. They absolutely should have been removed a long time ago, as soon as it was known that they were harbouring Jimmy Savile, because they all knew about it. Why they're still going, I don't know. The TV companies have the power to your perception. They are the most powerful entity, and they control the nation's point of view, perception of the way the world is. For example, Donald Trump. Look what they've done. They slaughtered that man's character and his wife as well. Many people are beginning to realize that Donald Trump is not the bad person that he was depicted to be. I doubt whether he's perfect. I don't think anybody is. But he certainly wasn't the character that they made him out to be. And that is purely down to the media.
Yeah. Way back, ask any question about any president and it would not tell you very much. Ask about Donald Trump and it would just completely give you lots of stuff not to like this guy. Because he's come, well, he's certainly saving the children. And people just don't have a clue really, because they're all into the Roman distractions with the football and everything else that keeps everyone busy.
The bread and circuses.
Yes.
Yeah. It is the opiate of the masses. Yeah, absolutely. They just want to hypnotise you, and that's exactly what the TV does. It hypnotises people, it programs them, it's mind control. I mean, recently Congress, Anna Paulina Luna, they made a hearing on MK Ultra. Have you heard about that?
I know about MK Ultra, but I don't know the person's name that you've just said then.
Well, Anna Paulina Luna is a congresswoman. She's an elected member of Congress, and she's she's been very forthright, very truthful. She's been revealing the UFO files, or they have a caucus, like a group of them, and Timber Chet as well, at the forefront of trying to bring the truth about the unidentified flying objects, or UAPs, whatever you want to call them, bringing the truth about what's gone on and who they are, where they, and how much we've known, and the fact that we've known, or we've had contact with these beings for a long time, and the fact that we reverse engineer downed craft. We've been able to bring them down and interrogate them. A lot of people have seen Disclosure Day. We went to see it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Disclosure Day. So, yeah, it was a film. It was a bit like Indiana Jones and the, Temple of Doom. It had some stuff in it that was interesting. And it was kind of a step further than that, because it did show you actual footage from Roswell. I believe that was real footage. There were some very interesting aspects about psychic ability, and certain people are more attuned to these beings than others, and they had two characters. Without giving the storyline away, if you haven't seen it, I think people should see it, because I think it breaks a few barriers, especially the fear factor. The beings that appear in it, and there are, just to let you know, they're not representative of the whole of the extraterrestrial races that are out there. Okay, so it kind of puts you on a very, one-track way of looking at things, whereas a lot of extraterrestrials apparently look like us more so. So, it's a story. It's a good introduction. It's not really a scary story. It's got a happy ending, if you like, but it's got maybe a sequel coming. What do you think? They'll make a sequel to it?
Why do we have all these Area 51, all these underground bases, all these things that the public aren't, allowed to know about? If our money, the American people's money's gone to fund that.
And it's us as well, believe me.
So why can't we know?
Well, this is what we need to demand. Once we've declared our sovereignty, once we've rejected the corporate government that actually has no authority over you, that the emperor has no clothes, we have no lawful system, that leaves the people in charge. We are actually in charge. That's it.
I think we'd do a better job as well. It would take a few good women to sort the NHS out, and
natural medicine.
Yes.
Natural medicine all the way. And why can't you have acupuncture? Why can't you have chiropractor on the national health? Why can't we have natural medicine? Why did they close it all down? Because we've had to fight for it. We've had to realize the benefit of it, and we're now fighting for it. Well, we're not fighting for anything. We're peacefully declaring no consent to a system that doesn't serve us. They blatantly serve themselves. So we're going to change this around, aren't we, Jules?
They just line their own pockets at that, and you know what? There's never going to be enough money. They're always going to want more, and they're not accountable for this. What they're spending the money on, the debt, and this 81 billion
81 billion that's gone missing.
It's gone missing.
Yeah, you told me
that's
today.
Not being accounted for.
Yeah, it's just smacks of total corruption, which we all know, but it's time to do something about it, guys. We have the ammunition to do that. No one wants to hurt anybody. We just want to live our lives honestly and transparently, and we want the truth.
Yeah, everything is money all the time. Go out the door, you're spending money. God help you if you've got young kids. It must be a nightmare. And this government just seems to be frivolously giving everything away, and it's never going to be enough, people, if we don't do something.
Well, we have to talk to each other in our communities. I've organised a couple of community events just for people to get used to each other. Now, not everyone's going to agree, and they're going to want to see evidence, but that's up to you. You have to do your due diligence and do a bit of research and find out what went on in 1973. and why it was treasonous. There was an article published in 2019, I think it was, in the Daily Express. I've got a truth channel you can check. I'm on X. I'm Jolo Truth, at Jolo Truth on X. And I do believe there's a military operation underway. I do believe that it's had to be very covert. A sting operation has to be covert to catch them. And they're being caught. The child traffickers are being caught. What do you know about the underground bases? Have you heard anything about it?
There's underground bases for all this reverse technology, but there's also a load of kids in these underground bases as well.
Yeah.
That Trump is trying to clear out all this child trafficking. Yeah, there's you don't have to listen to us. You just have to go and find the evidence. It's all there.
In 2017, Donald Trump announced an executive order to eradicate human trafficking, and the press said nothing. The British press said absolutely zilch. I did a music video where I included the clip of him announcing that executive order, and it was removed from YouTube. So why would you remove something? There was a music video that it was announcing something good, something that was actually going to help the world. It's because Donald Trump has been framed and he has been set up to look like a bad guy.
He is the only self-funded president. He doesn't take a salary to do this.
It's a very good point.
You know?
It's a very good point.
Yeah, people don't understand that.
Yeah.
He's self-funded.
Yeah, he's not taken a salary, has he, at all?
No.
And he's actually donated his salary back to the government, to the people.
Yeah. And, some of the things that, are said. The news in England is very different to the news in America.
Yeah. Donald Trump announced the election fraud and of 2020, and they have all the evidence, and unfortunately every member of Congress reneged on their oath of office by not investigating all the evidence that they had. This is a massive problem. It's very similar to the treason that was committed here in our country in 1973, because nobody said anything. The press said nothing and didn't inform the people of the seriousness, the constitutional crisis that we were plunged into. The people didn't realise, and it was all an agenda.
People are never going to know if they're just listening to the mainstream news,
No, you're not going to be told the truth.
No.
You're going to be told their agenda. I got taken off social media for pointing out the obvious. Many, many people got taken away. I have my business network decimated. The social media networks and the TV networks and the whole establishment, who are their masters? Who's been controlling them?
So this is where the government comes in now, and they're going to restrict YouTube and different platforms, so they're only spouting their narrative and not the actual real narrative, which is quite worrying.
It is. I think it's going to happen, but the people have to see. You see, when you're in a sting operation and people are very much under the spell of a bunch of lies from the TV companies.
People are stressed out to death, Joe.
Yeah.
People just, how much more can people take? Everyone is just being pulled to some extremity, like an elastic band. We're all going to snap soon. And really, all the money, the children, we just need answers. We just need to know where our money's going and make better informed decisions. Because if it's our money, why isn't it coming back to us?
Yeah. So we need to address the root problem. The root problem was when our system of protection was destroyed. But as I say, the power is with us ultimately.
Yeah.
And then therefore we have to realise that. We have to take in the initiative together, and we just have to find a way to keep pounding it out there. We know what you're up to, we see you, and we know.
Yeah, you create a problem, then pretend to fix it, and then everyone has to go along.
When people say the military is the only way, that is the truth. Because when it comes down to making accountable public servants who have violated their oath to the people, only the military can deal with it. Only the military can arrest them and take them away.
I would like transparency for where all our money is going. They can go into everyone's bank account and take their money and know everything about their life. So let's switch it round, because actually they are supposed to be serving us. So let's have a good look and see where all your money's gone to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you'll be shocked.
Okay. All right. I think that's enough for today. I'll be here with probably someone else, maybe Jules again. We'll have another chat. So if there's anyone who wants to come on, and I'll come and pick you up and we can have a little chat in the car. Okay, see you again soon. Don't forget to check my socials. I'll put links down below. And have a good day. Have a positive heart. We know where we're going now. We're in control. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Have a good day.